Chapter 30. Our wedding day is probably the most beautiful day of my life. It ranks right up there with the days my boys were born, with the added bonus that my boys were grown men and got to enjoy it with me. So much joy and love. A blessing I will always cherish, imprinted on my soul, a part of me forever. And we had to start a new chemo regimen in a couple days, so traveling for a honeymoon wasn't realistic. But Mom got us a really nice jacuzzi suite for a couple nights, and I think we probably slept 24 hours straight when we got there. By the grace of God and with the help of family and friends and Jerry the wedding planner, we pulled off a beautiful wedding in 3 weeks. But afterwards, we were completely spent. But it was a good kind of tired. The kind of comes after successful completion of a great undertaking. And beneath that exhaustion, there was a new strength, something quiet but powerful and holy that came with our vows. And that strength enabled us to make a new start that I don't think we otherwise would have made or been able to make. See, we were never really happy with our UK oncologist. I think she was a good doctor, but she just wasn't a good fit for us. So on faith alone, we decided that we're going to change doctors and hospitals as we started the new chemo regimen. We just felt like it was time because Michelle, she wasn't. I wasn't really happy with her UK doctor either. I'll be honest with you. Like I said, she's not a bad doctor. She just her personality. Let me tell you the thing about oncologists. They're probably all good, right? They all do basically the same thing. I mean, what I found out is that the treatments they offer here or there, even at the Mayo Clinic or MD Anderson or Cleveland Clinic or any of these places like that. It's going to be the same thing. They're going to be offering, for the most part, they're going to be offering the same thing. And not for every case, but a lot of times it's the same thing. Now, they may switch up the order that they do this or that, but, if you've got a triple negative cancer, stage 4, there's limited options of what's available. So all the doctors are going to pretty much offer the same things. They're almost all up on the same, on the recent, things that are going on with cancer and whatnot. I've yet to run into a bad oncologist, right? And I've worked with a lot of doctors and whatnot. So it's more about personality, Do you get along with that person well? Do they make you feel comfortable, or how good do you feel when you go in to talk to them? How do they make you feel? How do you feel when you leave there? And we just never got a good feeling with her. So nothing to do with her personally, but Michelle especially, she wanted to start with a new doctor. I did too. I was going to support whatever she wanted to do, And now the new doctor that we were going to was at University of Louisville James Brown Center. And that's an hour and a half away from here, which wasn't practical at all compared to our 15-minute drive to UK, but that's where faith led us, so that's where we followed. And she turned out to be an excellent oncologist, and we connected with her right away. But it very quickly became apparent that it was going to be very challenging logistically to make so many tightly scheduled appointments, that far away, and me working and everything. So I won't lie, there were times when I wondered how it could possibly work. But Michelle's confidence was firm, like the type you don't question. So we pushed on, soldiered through. And, we went through a couple weeks of hectic, barely made visits, And sure enough, exactly when we needed it the most, God opened a new door for us. So our new oncologist, she had a colleague at Georgetown Hospital that she put us in touch with. And Georgetown Hospital had just recently opened its oncology center. And we didn't know that. And it was located only 15 minutes away from us. Um, so their timing, or God's timing, really was perfect. And her recommendation of her colleague, Dr. Taylor, was just a blessing and an unselfish act on her part. So thank you, Dr. Mondadi. And Dr. Taylor turned out to be a fantastic oncologist and just a wonderful human being. And Georgetown Hospital had the best facilities and staff we could wish for. They were skilled and compassionate, and we knew immediately we were exactly where we were supposed to be. And if I'm being honest, it was Michelle's faith more than mine that determined that got us exactly where we needed to be. Because during those times when I'd been unsure, right, she was steadfast in her belief. She knew that she was doing the right thing. And the confidence she received from her faith is why we stuck it out and ended up exactly where we were supposed to be. And I'm going to tell you what, that just goes to show you that even in a traditional marriage and household like ours, right? And by traditional, I mean where the wife trusts her husband enough to let him lead, right? She trusts him. The husband also has to trust his wife and recognize when it's his time to follow her lead, right? And if you think about it, that's a powerful statement about leadership and about the deferral of leadership and how that plays into someone being a good leader or not. Michelle was every bit as capable of leading as I was, right? In fact, more capable at times, like finding this new oncologist. I was very well aware of that, right? And hell, it was one of the many reasons I fell in love with her in the first place. I delighted in having a partner that had sound judgment and good instinct that I could trust, right? Old-fashioned marriage roles might seem outdated or misogynist these days, but for us, at least, that wasn't the case at all. We found those old school traditional roles to be very rewarding. And we took them very seriously too, because playing them well gave us joy and gave our marriage a harmony, right, that we were familiar with and appreciated. But at the end of the day, that's all they ever were to us. Roles that we enjoyed playing. Our partnership was very much an equal one, and Michelle was very capable of leading.